Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming in and giving us the opportunity to propose our acquisition of Suzlon. Today I am joined by our VP of Business Development, Param Patel, our Industry Analyst, Haritha Rao, and our VP of Corporate Development, Ethan Hartman. Today we're going to go over a little bit about Total and our background. We're going to talk a little bit about our financials and our standing, and why we're a good fit for Suzlon and what we can do for Suzlon going into the future. So a little bit about us. We've been in continuous operation for 93 years. We were founded after World War I in 1924 by Colonel Ernest Hermier. We're headquartered in Courbevoie, France, and we have over 96,000 employees, and we operate in over 130 countries. We are a multinational integrated oil and gas company, focusing our efforts on oil and gas exploration, refinery and distribution, as well as chemical production and distribution, and we're moving forward into renewable energies. We have a very strong global reputation. We are fourth largest super major oil company. There's 7 of them, including BP, Chevron, Royal Dutch, Exxon, ConocoPhillips, and Eni from Italy. We have the 9th largest revenue out of all oil companies worldwide. Most of the companies that are ahead of us are state-owned in either China or Middle Eastern countries. And we have a very strong rating for investments. We're a high-grade investment in the global markets. Moody's rates us at AA3. And we have a very strong commitment to the environment compared to a lot of other oil companies. We are a member and founding member of the OGCI, which is the Oil and Gas Climate Initiative. It is a group of 10 companies that are led by their CEOs to improve our energy mix and energy efficiency and improve our impact on the climate. Just last year we started publishing the first climate report, which is a transparent report for stakeholders to explain and show how we are actually integrating climate impact and energy use into our strategy. So we're trying to increase our energy efficiency in production, in our operations, and even in the fuel that we burn. We follow a 3-pillar climate strategy that kind of coincides with that first climate report. We're focusing on our energy burn, our carbon mix, and all of it, and also in our renewable energies is our 3rd pillar that we're actually focusing on. We've had some major successes. Just in 2007, we created a new fuel called Evolution, which burns longer than others at a lower rate and a lower carbon emissions rate. And our renewable projects bring us here today to talk to you and to talk a little bit more about our financials and where we stand as a company. I have Param Patel to take over.
Thanks, Liam. Talking about the financials, this are our highlights for 2016. Our revenue rose to $127 billion from $125 billion last year. We have had a net income of $6.2 billion, which is 20% increase from $5 billion. Our cash rose by $1 billion to $24.5 billion. That was mainly due to high net profits. Our assets are $230 billion. We have investments of $230 billion in 130 countries around the world. We have paid a lot of our debts, and it's just $57 billion right now. We issued $6 billion worth of common shares last year, and that rose our equity to $98 billion. Next slide, please. Talking about your financials, Suzlon had a bad year for 2016. Revenue was just $1.43 billion, and that was 55% decline from last year. The net profit was only $72 million. Though the equity share capital is $143 million, you have a net worth of -$1 billion, which gets the book value of shares to -$0.20. And so we are proposing to acquire 100% stake in Suzlon. So what's our offer? We know that in 2014, Sun Pharma made a bid to buy 23% of his stake for $290 billion. That valuates your company to $1.3 billion. But we are offering 700% premium over that. Why is that? That is because as per discounted cash flow valuation, we value your company at $10 billion and we want to acquire you with a premium. We will buy all 5 billion of your outstanding shares at $2 per share, which is 1100% premium over your book value. we are issuing for $6 billion worth of shares and $4 billion cash upfront. This cash will mean a lot of this cash will mean huge cash influx for R&D, for debt payoff, and for asset acquisition around the world. Ethan Hartman, the VP of Corporate Development, will talk about R&D in detail.
Okay, thanks. So you've heard about us as a company, and we've kind of given you a little summation of our view of where you are as a company. Now I'd like to talk a little bit more about what we're going to do together as a company. And to start off with that, I can't think of a better way to do that than to talk about our research and development and where we see you going with that. You are the #1 company, wind energy company in India. You have the tallest wind turbine tower ever. How did you do this? It was through research and development, and you've accomplished this budget of only $43 million for R&D. We think that research and development and becoming the technology leader in wind energy is a great thing. We want to keep you there. We think that that's going to help us grow as a company and become not just #4 on this for major oil companies, but the #1 renewable energy company in the world. And so what we're going to do is, we're going to increase R&D spending immediately. We plan on increasing it 100%, and from there pegging it to revenue, your annual revenue at 2.5%, ensuring that you always have an R&D budget and you're always moving forward and maintaining that spot as a technological leader in wind energy. What we want to do with this immediately is secure the first mover advantage in low-speed wind turbines, that's specifically Class 3. Unfortunately, there's a lot of competitors also looking at Class 3 low-speed wind turbines, which can operate in variable wind speed areas, which also increases greatly the potential for different places for wind farms. It doesn't have to be perfectly suitable wind farms. But we want to maintain first mover advantage in the Class 3s, and we want to have overall first mover advantage in the Class 4s. So we want to start research on the next generation before this one is even out, and maintain our spot and yours as technological leaders. And now to talk a little bit more about what we can do in the land area is Aretha.
Let me talk about the land of Suzlon right now. Suzlon is an end-to-end solution provider. So basically what it does is it acquires land for the customer, it sets up the windmill or the solar power plant, and then it sees to the running of the plant throughout its life cycle. Currently, land acquisition is the biggest problem for Suzlon. Even though it is the #1 acquirer of land in India right now, it's having to turn down a lot of projects because it has problems acquiring land because of the red tape and the bureaucracy involved. And it's even more difficult for Suzlon to acquire land globally. So currently, Suzlon is producing 15.5 gigawatts of energy annually. And it has a vision of growing this to 20 to 22 gigawatts by 2022. Suzlon has 11 million acres of land, which is 5% of the land that Total has. So Total has 211 million acres of land, and what this land can do for Suzlon is that it can have a maximum potential production of 761 gigawatts of energy annually, and this is the best case scenario. This happens if we use 100% of the 200 million acres of land that we have for solely production of alternative energy solutions. How we got this number is that solar energy produces 0.4 megawatts of energy per acre, and wind produces 1.2 megawatts of energy per acre. So the best case scenario is 761 gigawatts of energy. Just to give you a sense of what this number does, in 2015, America produced 100 gigawatts of combined alternative energies. So even if we put 50% of the land that Total has for alternative energy, we would still be the #1 solution provider, an alternative energy solution provider in the world. We thank you all for being here today, and we would want you to accept our proposal of acquiring Suzlon for $10 billion. What we can do for Suzlon is that we can make your vision of 22 gigawatts of global energy provision in 3 years instead of 5. So we will get you there by 2020. We will get you 100% R&D increase of influx of cash to 50 million, and we will make you the #1 global energy provider. So we would like you to join us on this vision and make this world a better place. Thank you.